everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents, this is the first time, WWE's first tradition, day one. Yes, day one will be the matches. We'll talk about match previews, match card, match outcomes, and more. And then we'll get to the latest on what's going on with Toni Storm as she just left WWE, took her ball, and went home. We'll get to the latest on all this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome for WWE Day 1. And it starts right now. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you all for watching as we talk about WWE Day 1. Day 1 is going to be a new tradition as it will be WWE didn't have a pay-per-view in December. They waited all through day 1. But we get to everything where what's going on with Paul Heyman. Whose side is he on after being fired and let go our residency of Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, as well as Brock Lesnar, the challenger. Where does Paul Heyman stand, and what kind of outcome it will be with Heyman as what's the mastermind for both of them behind their championship victories and stuff. There's a lot going on, but first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Miss Karen. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. We talk about the Day 1 edition, Predict the Outcome edition of WWE Day 1. What matches we have. We have a couple of matches. Let's get started with the pre-show matches. We just found out for the pre-show on Day 1, Cesaro and Ricochet will team up against the team of Cesaro's former tag team partner, Sheamus, and his pupil, his mentor, his student, Rich Holland. This is going to be a tag team match, slugfest, with Ricochet flying around with aerial attacks. Look for the team of Sheamus and Rich Holland getting the win over Ricochet and Cesaro. As Cesaro still got unfinished business with Rich Holland and Sheamus. Speaking of that, another grudge match that I believe they're going to start Day 1 will be Drew McIntyre taking on Madcap Moss. As Madcap Moss looking forward to getting his WWE debut match against former WWE champion Drew McIntyre. Madcap Mouse being teased and getting being elevated by his boss, Happy Corbin, and being put in this situation. Madcap Mouse will suffer defeat and he will eat a Claymore for his troubles. And Drew McIntyre will continue on his momentum as the Royal Rumble will approach at the end of the month in January. Also, too, Edge taking on the Miz. This is another grudge match that got a lot of seeds planted. Miz blamed Edge for not being there for him and not taking him on his wing when Edge was coming up as WWE champion and Miz was rising up as a WWE superstar way back 15 years ago in 2016. Now things have changed as Edge and Miz are both former WWE champions, both former Money in the Bank winners, both former whatever. Well, Edge came on Raw to ponder what his next move might be. After being out of the feud with Seth Rollins, Edge went on to take on, look forward what's next. Well, the Miz came out there, made his grand return after competing in Dance with the Stars. He didn't win the Mirror Ball trophy, but Edge eggs Miz on. Miz doesn't like it one bit. And Miz brought his wife, Beth Phoenix. Miz brought his wife, Maurice, involved. Now, we know eventually Beth Phoenix will be in the feud some way, somehow. But Edge made a bloody start after Miz and Maurice wanted to renew their wedding vows. And Eric Bischoff made a surprise return, the former GM of Raw and WWE Hall of Famer and podcaster. Well, Edge came and ruined the celebration by throwing them a bloodbath. And Edge and Miz will go toe-to-toe at Day 1. Look for the Miz to get a little inch of revenge on Edge on ruining his wedding day. You know how they go. Speaking of that, Rated RK Bro defending the Raw Tag Team titles against the Street Profits. The Street Profits went through the Tag Team Champions tournament to get this Tag Team Championship shot. They went through the Mysterios, where there was a highly contested match for both men. Now the Mysterios are out of the picture. Now the Street Profits looking to get the smoke and want those Tag Team titles. And RK Bro been on the roll as later with Riddle and teaching Randy Orton new tricks. Look for Red RK Bro to continue their win over the Street Profits coming forward. So look for Red RK Bro and the Street Profits to have a series of matches going forward. All right, that's going to end our first half of the day one predict the outcome. When we return, we'll have the second half of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the day one predict the outcome. When we return, we'll have hot topics. We'll talk about the ladies on Toni Storm taking her ball and leaving WWE. Is this for real? We'll talk about it after this. This is the Pro Wrestling Show. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show, where we talk about the day one predict the outcome special. We'll get to the second half later on, but let's get to hot topics. On hot topics this week, one of the hot topics it was, as we just found out, that former WWE superstar Toni Storm has took her ball and went home. Yes, Toni Storm, who competed in the Christmas Day edition of Smackdown for the Smackdown Women's title against Charlotte, had her effort, and she decided that she just couldn't do it, and she had enough and wanted to quit. Now we know Dave Meltzer reported that Toni Storm didn't ask for a leave. She just quit. She just went home and took her ball and went home. And Toni Storm, that we be hearing, Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Slap, a lot going on with the Toni Storm, and we don't know for that fact. It's just developing as it goes on what's going on. The real reason Toni Storm left. Did she feel like she wasn't good enough to be in WWE, or did she feel like she had more potential to be doing something great in WWE, and WWE didn't want to take advantage of that situation? So there's a lot going on. There's a lot escalating. Like I said, she was just in a championship match. She just was in a program with Charlotte Flair, and now she's not in World Wrestling Entertainment no more. So you got to wonder, like, what could it have been? But we don't know. But hopefully everything will come out eventually, and we'll see going forward with Toni Storm. Also, too, Jake the Snake Roberts has tested positive for COVID-19. We wish Jake the Snake Roberts the best, and hopefully he gets hopefully he recovers from COVID-19. So that kind of was a quick hot topic. Mainly was Toni Storm, but I mean, I didn't see that coming, and who knows? We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's move back. Let's move back to the day one, second half of the day one. Predict the outcome. Let's get back to it. Coming up is Becky Lynch defends her Raw Women's Championship against Liv Morgan. These two women have been embroiled into the feud that many people didn't see coming, with angry Liv girl, angry Becky girl. It's just a lot going on. But we know one thing. Becky Lynch saying that Liv Morgan doesn't have what it takes to be Raw Women's Champion. And Liv Morgan trying to prove to Becky Lynch that she does have what it takes to be Raw Women's Champion. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch now proving to the point that they will take each other out to become the Raw Women's Champion and the head of that division. So that division will come. Look for Becky Lynch to retain her Raw Women's Championship, and Becky Lynch will probably down the road want to meet Ronda Rousey. Ronda might be a surprise entry at the Royal Rumble and challenge Becky for that title at WrestleMania. I can just see it again. Or they might do the rematch with the SmackDown title and the Raw title on the line. But Ronda won't both Charlotte and Becky. It could happen. It's a possibility. But look for Becky Lynch to retain the Raw Women's title over Liv Morgan. Nothing against Liv Morgan. She'll put in the effort, but she's not. Many people don't think she's ready, but she will eventually get ready one day. Speaking of that, the Usos defend the Smackdown Tag Team titles against the New Day. The Usos and New Day have been rivaling in the past, but now intensified now with King Woods, Xavier Woods becoming King Woods, and Kofi King being Sir Kofi. A lot going on. The Usos looking to prove something. Looking to prove to Roman of them losing to the New Day. Now this is the Usos' chance to regain redemption from Roman, as what Roman did to Paul Heyman. We'll talk about that coming up in the show. What's going on with that? Also too, the WWE Championship is online, and it was supposed to be a one-on-one match between Seth Rollins and Big E. Then it turned to a triple threat match with Kevin Owens added, and then it turned to a fatal four-way match where Bobby Lashley was added. Bobby Lashley dominated, and he could be on his way on the good path. But now a lot of people are claiming that Bobby Lashley could be turning babyface again and feuding with MVP. Only time will tell. But Bobby Lashley had this momentum. I think him being a monster champion worked this past, looking forward back in 2021. Him dominating, winning the title with Miz, and dominating Kofi Kingston, Drew McIntyre, and Goldberg. Well, we might not see that ever again, but they want to switch their attention to Omos. But look for either Seth Rollins winning the championship or Big E retaining. One of those two men will be winner. So I'm looking at Big E for the start. And then he'll probably drop it in next month in February to whoever. But look for Big E to retain his title. And speaking of the main event is for the Universal Championship. If Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, defends his gold against the challenger and #1 contender, Brock Lesnar. Now, we know that Paul Heyman has had history with both men, but now Paul Heyman sees himself out of the outs after Roman Reigns kicked Paul Heyman out of the bloodline, and Paul Heyman now ponders and wonders what's his next career move is. Does he retire for his extraordinary, legendary career? Paul Heyman has managed a couple of WWE champions, including those two men and several others. Heyman has more association with both Brock and Roman just recently with Roman. But now with Brock coming back in the picture at SummerSlam, many people ponder wonder what's going on. As Heyman still trying to ponder himself. We don't know. It's interesting though that Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns wanted to know, are you protecting who? Why are you not letting me leash at Brock Lesnar? And Paul Heyman was saying he's going to be honest. He's been honest. This is the first time he's ever been honest in his whole life, saying that I'm protecting you from Roman Reigns. And that's when Paul Heyman got kicked out of the group. And Paul Heyman that week wondering what's next. And they show highlights of his career managing from WCW to ECW to WWE. Now Heyman is on the sideline looking forward to this. I don't know. It could be a possibility of anything. Heyman could be playing possum and tricking all of us, thinking he had everyone taken. Roman and Heyman could have been in cahoots, or maybe Brock Lesnar and Heyman could be in cahoots. We know the first time they met, with Brock Lesnar went against Roman at Crown Jewel, and Paul Heyman threw the championship in the ring, in the middle of the ring, and told him, you know what to do with it. And we was thinking either he was going to give it to Brock or Heyman. Brock didn't like that one bit. And it makes you wonder, like, how this all going to play out. Is this a swerve or what? So look for, I think, with Heyman, it's sort of like you don't know how this all going to play out with Paul Heyman. Brock and him has a history together. Him and Roman has history. So it's kind of, I think that's the best storyline going for it. And they kind of knew they had to go there because the fans had that expectation. So a lot of people saying Paul and Brock might be in cahoots, screwing Roman, and Roman and Paul might be in cahoots. Who knows? It's all gonna play out. But me betting, You know, I'm thinking Paul and Brock are in cahoots and they want to screw Roman, and WWE kindly got what they need to be with Roman being the heel, and now they want to make him a babyface. So I'm thinking that. So it's going to end a draw, but we just don't know how subtle and how soon it'll be. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But I believe Roman Reigns will win. It'll be a draw, but Brock won't win. But Paul will kind of know his allegiance going forward, and he'll head on to WrestleMania. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, the Day 1 Predict the Outcome Special. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you next time for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.